Hi, I'm just going to make a quick tutorial to avoid some housework on how to use textures because it's really easy. And then I discovered something about the light beams that I had a suspicion about. So here's a picture, it's okay, that I took this week. It's a little dark because she's in silhouette because it's backlit, but there is some busyness over to the left. So a texture might help pop her a little bit more and minimize some of the other busy stuff. She is highlighted because we have the light behind her and she's directly looking at us and she is framed in the window. But like the books and such, maybe that would help to sort of minimize that. So the textures you can find if you Google them online, even if you have one or two, maybe you might get a set of three or some four. You can get them for free enough to play with and get an idea if you like them or not. I was introduced to them maybe a few years ago and did buy some Florabella ones years ago, and Jessica Drawson, who is a painter who does paint some of her, and that's all it is. Some paper with, not all it is. I mean, I certainly couldn't do it, and I'm not minimizing it. They're beautiful in their own right, standalone. Let me just show you a couple. Sugar and spice, and I believe I've never made one, but that they're just different textures of paper with some paints and tones added, and then probably with some tools scratched in to make. This one definitely is scratched paper. This looks like it might even be like a plexiglass or something like that, and just scratched in to give that added texture. This set does have some black and white ones and colored, but if you put a color one on a black and white, you can just desaturate it. And I can't remember, there is a way to keep the texture and move the color off. There are more complicated ways and better ways to use them, but this is definitely what I'm going to show you is a simple way to just jump in and get started. And this is really all I remember, I have to be honest. So I have this image, and it might brighten the image, darken the image. You're going to see each one is going to be, you really don't know until you use it. So let's throw, you can use File, Place, and put it on top of the picture. But dragging and dropping is what I do, and that's what I'm going to do. But in Photoshop, I do think it's Place, if you have to find that somewhere. Now this activated the Transform tool. I'm going to hold down the Shift key. If you hold down the Shift key and pull on the corner, it's going to stay the same size. But because this is just a texture, it doesn't really matter. We can also just pull on the sides, and you can go beyond the image. I'm just going to go right to the image. I'm going to show you a couple of different ones to show quickly how that they can affect differently. So this one, it's just laying on top. The two modes that I've learned was soft light, and this is at 100%. And usually you might put it maybe at 30. So that's 30%, or overlay. Now this is adding a color, and maybe that's cool. Looks kind of spooky, but you might want to do what I was saying before is to just desaturate. So bring up a hue and saturation layer and pull it down. And that just took out the color. But I'm going to go back and put these in the garbage and grab another one. This one's really pretty. And for a certain image, wow, this would be. Like I said, they've been sort of sitting on my hard drive. My style is a little bit cleaner and straightforward, so I haven't, but I'm excited to try these again in Kate's class. Here, you guys, I wonder what this is going to look like. So I checked OK. Let's hit quickly soft light. This is a cool one, isn't it? And then I'm going to go to 30%. No, I'm going to leave this one on. Okay. So now what I need to do is I'm going to desaturate. I'm going to take out the color first. So hue saturation, because I'm on a black and white image, that's why I'm doing that. Now it leaves the texture. Now go back to the texture layer. I need to add a mask, and it's a white mask. I've learned to X to change, get a black brush, B, and 90%. I'm going to take it off her face. And hands. Usually I had heard skin for 100%. And this, like I said, I haven't done this very much. Then I'm going to go on 40% and brush it off of quickly, a little bit off of her clothing. And I just did that at 40%, but I did. Okay. So the idea is we want her to come pop back out. Then I'm going to go to 20% to blend this a little bit more around where I painted. I think if I hit the backslash key, you can see. I just hit the backslash key. I do want to blend this a little bit. I do like it on the texture of her little cape. Looks like I went heavy here, so I'm going to put this back on. Went a little heavy on her legs. Okay. Backslash to take off the mask. So that's pretty much it. We still see the texture, and I have it covering kind of the window and everything that she's on. And then you would just flatten and save from here. That's it, if you want to try that out. So the other thing I was thinking about the light. Jessica Drawson does send some of the light beams and such, but I had remembered I'd purchased ones years ago and then by accident came upon some in Lightroom. So I wondered if they were in Photoshop, and I did find. Now, learning how to use them effectively would be quite a chore, and I'm going to use another image. Ignore my messy desktop, please. Okay. Here's an image that just has the lights coming from this window. So what I notice is I'm going to double the layer, duplicate the layer, and in the filter menu you go to filter, render, lighting effects. Now and this is a filter, so the first one that came up was this lighting effect. Oh, that happened before. I have my background is copying, so I keep bouncing off Photoshop. So let's open that again. No. Hold on, sorry. No. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry about this. I don't want to do that. Okay. My goodness, sorry everybody. Okay. And if I knew how to edit, I don't know how to use iMovie that great either. But I do want to show you this quick. Okay. All right, so double the layer, filter, render, and lighting effects. There's also a lens flare there. Now, I don't know, just to start for free, but this does seem to have a learning curve to it. So I did play with this one time and see how this works. I mean, I might play that if I hold the shift key down. Yeah, that's gonna work like some of the other things. And I can make this longer. It's supposed to be like a spotlight. I don't know what I did there. You get the idea, right? And then there's ambiance, which is the ambient light, ambient, and then the intensity of the main light. Okay, and I'm just going to click OK quickly to get you guys off on with your day. It's a little bit harsh, isn't it? But I guess playing around, you can see this stuff is already, some of this stuff is already in Photoshop. Okay, bye guys.